The inconvenient truth about vaccines. Let's talk about why doing thorough research is important before deciding on vaccinating. Vaccine injuries are not 1 in a million like we're led to believe. Negative side effects and regressions should be talked about more instead of being pushed under the rug. Despite what we are all made to believe about vaccinations, there is a lot not publicly discussed about. Vaccine manufacturers were facing more than 200 times their annual sales in liability from vaccine injury claims. Rather than improving safety, they asked the government to remove their liability entirely in 1986 through the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act. The vaccines required today, compared to the number of vaccines required in 1986 in utero to 12 months, has grown from 3 vaccines to 72 doses. In 1986, Congress passed legislation to shield manufacturers from any liability producing dangerous vaccines, which led to a rapid increase in the number of childhood vaccinations and no motivation to ensure their safety. The effects of mass vaccination are so broad, it is often difficult to even begin to scratch the surface of what's happened. Unfortunately, the things that could most accurately assess this have been prohibited. For example, randomized trials comparing the vaccinated and unvaccinated, or access to the databases that have that data. Fortunately, some data assessing this does exist, and for a wide range of common conditions. Those vaccinated are 3 to 50 times as likely to develop them. From all the research I have done, it seems that the more vaccines that are given, especially if they are received at the same time, the more likely the child is to develop a severe reaction to the vaccine. For example, this is why SIDS has been correlated to receiving multiple vaccines simultaneously. This is also why more parents have observed their children developing autism after multiple vaccinations. There are even some doctors who advocate for not following the CDC schedule and spacing out the required vaccines. Just in the last year, the CDC has changed their wording regarding autism and vaccines. It previously said, vaccines do not cause autism. It now says, the claim vaccines do not cause autism is not an evidence-based claim because studies have not ruled out the possibility that infant vaccines cause autism. Let's talk about what's in the vaccines. No matter what your stance is on vaccines, I think we can all agree as parents we should know what's being injected into our children. I'm going to show you a color-coded vaccine ingredient chart straight from the CDC. Everything highlighted in pink is aborted fetal cell lines. Everything highlighted in orange is animal cell proteins. Everything highlighted in yellow is toxic to humans. Everything highlighted in orange is an allergy irritant. Everything highlighted in green is an allergy irritant. And everything highlighted in blue is an antibiotic. There are no studies that look at the long-term effects these ingredients have on a child's growth and development. Vaccines are not just saline and dead viruses like we're told. Some of the ingredients in today's vaccines are gelatin from boiled pigskin, chicken embryo protein, blood from the heart of cow fetuses, human fetus DNA fragments, aluminum from human blood plasma, oil extracted from shark livers, proteins from worm ovaries, monkey kidney DNA fragments. Some of the chemical ingredients are formaldehyde, polysulfurate 80, and potassium chloride. Potassium chloride is the ingredient used in the 3rd injection when given lethal injection. Aluminum is linked to asthma, sudden infant death syndrome, and brain stem failure. There are also 3 studies that link aluminum to autism. Aluminum is a potent neurotoxin used in most vaccines for nearly 100 years. Vaccines are also not one size fits all. We're going to talk about regression in children from vaccines, as well as vaccine injuries and how the MTHFR gene mutation plays a part in that. Over 40% of the population has the MTHFR gene mutation. The MTHFR gene controls how our bodies process folate and create glutathione, the master antioxidant that clears toxins. When mutations like C67T or A1298C slow this process, detox pathways weaken, and the body struggles to eliminate harmful substances. Now combine that with vaccines packed full of aluminum, mercury, polysulfurate 80, and other neurotoxins. For a child with a compromised detox, those ingredients don't just pass through, they accumulate in the brain and body, sparking inflammation, oxidative stress, and long-term damage. The truth is simple. Children with MTHFR mutations are at greater risk of vaccine injury because their bodies cannot detox the toxins being injected. Parents deserve transparency, informed consent, and the freedom to protect their children from this biological overload. Don't question the right to speak up, and try not to blindly follow everything that is put in front of you. Thankfully, there has been more awareness around the subject, and more things are coming to light. Most people are walking around with chronic illnesses listed on recurrent ear infections and neurological issues that are listed on vaccine inserts as adverse reactions, but we've been trained to call them normal. Vaccine injuries aren't rare. This is reality.